Recording in progress.
All right, we're back in open session. Time is
8:09.
all right. 11A, discussion and possible action regarding the construction architectural issues at CrystalCity High School, Sterling Fly, Junior High, Benito Juarez Middle School, Lorenzo de Zavala Elementary, and Tomás Rivera Elementary. Ms. Brunas?
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees authorize legal counsel to reject the proposed fix offered by the Fluger-Barley-Cog team of the design construction issues at the new Crystal City High School auditorium, and to send a formal demand letter to the Fluger-Barley-Cog team demanding funding for option 1 and the additional areas as discussed in closed session. I further recommend that if the settlement mediation is not successful, the district shall seek reimbursement from Asphalt parties via the court process.
President, I so move.
I got a motion by Mr. Bonilla,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Melissa Guerrero. Any comments or questions in regards to this? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, B, discussion and possible action to terminate probationary classroom teacher at the conclusion of the 21-22 school year in the best interest of the school district. Authorize superintendent to send notice of same and matters thereto. Ms. Brunas?
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees terminate the probationary contract of the said employee in the best interest of the school district at the conclusion of the 21-22 school year, and to authorize superintendent to provide notice.
Any motion on the floor?
I'll move.
Got a motion by Ms. Guerrero,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Guerrero. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, C, consider to approve the recommendation to hire athletic director as a certified administrator for the 2022-2023 school year. Ms. Brunas?
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the recommendation as discussed and closed to hire athletic director as a certified administrator for the 22-23 school year.
I move.
I got a motion by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Second by Mr. Espinosa. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. D, consider to approve the recommendation to hire the TCLAS data fellow as a certified administrator for the 2022-2023 school year.
The recommendation to the Board of Trustees is that it approve the recommendation to hire T-Class Data Fellow as a certified administrator for the 22-23 school year.
I move.
I got a motion by Ms. Melissa
I'll second.
Guerrero, second by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. E, consider to approve the reemployment renewals of the professional employees, including teachers, campus principals, directors, coordinators, supervisors, and central office administrators for the 2022-2023 school year.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees consider the approval of reemployment renewals of professional employees, including teachers, campus principals, directors, coordinators, supervisors, and central office administrators for the 22-23 school year as discussed in close.
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Bonilla,
I'll second. Oh, sorry.
second by Mr. Cruz Mata. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, F, consider to approve the employment of new professional staff for the 21-22 school year.
The recommendation is the Board of Trustees approve the employment of new professional staff for the 21-22 school year.
Any motions?
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Bonilla, second by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. G, consider to approve the employment of new at-will staff for the 21-22 school year.
Recommendation is the Board of Trustees approve the employment of new at-will staff for the 21-22 school year.
I move.
I got a motion by Ms. Melissa.
Second. Second.
Second by Mr. Bonilla. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. At this time, we're going to go back to item number 6, page, consent action items. A, consider to approve the minutes for the March 7, 2022 regular board meeting.
They remain under consent.
Yes, sir.
I motion.
Do you want to do both or just one, sir? All right, I got a motion by Mr. Bonilla to go ahead and approve A and B. Sorry, I'm sorry, Mr. Espinosa.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mata. Any comments or questions?
So I'm gonna ask, should I cut it?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask if we can do them separately because I was absent for the March 7th.
Okay, so
And then
let's
we're.
go back. Let's go back. So at this point, any motions to consider to approve the minutes for the March 7th?
Do we think?
Yeah, you too.
Motion?
I'll motion.
Okay, I got a motion by Mr. Espinosa,
Second.
second by Mr. Mata. This is only for the,
Okay.
consider the minutes. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Nora?
I said yes, sir.
Okay, so any abstentions? Oh, okay. Motion passes 5-0-2. All right, now B, consider to approve the monthly bills for the month of March.
Motion.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Espinosa, second by Mr. Mata. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, 7 action items. A, discussion, consider to approve the amended Tariff Risk Management Fund interlocal participation agreement. Ms. Gronis?
Recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the amended TASB Risk Management Fund interlocal participation agreement as presented. This would be effective May 1st, 2022, and this is just a standard practice.
So move.
I got a motion by Mr. Bonilla.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cruz Mata. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. B, discussion and consider to approve board policy CW local.
The recommendation, sorry, Mr. Garcia. The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve adopting board policy CW local as presented. And this would give the board the ability to amend naming facilities. This is an ongoing conversation that we've had at the board table. And so this policy would give the board the authority to name facilities under this policy.
Name facilities.
Yes.
Change names.
So move.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Bonilla. Second by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, C, discussion and consider to approve ending the mask mandate in district facilities and buses that was passed on August 23rd, 2021. Jonah?
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve ending the mask mandate for staff and students in Crystal City ISD facilities and buses. However, that we do have a caveat that the superintendent is authorized to order that face masks be reinstated if we have mitigation circumstances that require us to go back to wearing masks, depending on our numbers.
I would recommend that we keep them till the end of school year. I mean, we stop now.
Well, it's already gonna finish school.
It's gonna finish, I mean, we're gonna have students. I'm gonna make a motion that we just, keep them for the rest of the school year. I mean,
I got a motion by Mr. Espinosa to continue with the mask mandate.
I'll second.
I got a
I'll second.
second by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Any comments, questions from anybody?
Actually,
Go ahead.
why are we keeping the mask ahorita right now? We got Ovale that doesn't use them, we got Pearsall that doesn't use them, that they removed them. A couple of districts in San Antonio that did the same thing. I'm not saying that you cannot, a student cannot, if they want to wear a mask, that's okay. But I think it's been over 2 years already, so it's my opinion that, I mean, we should, yeah, discontinue, and if you want to wear it, it's a recommendation, you can go ahead and wear it, no big deal.
My motion stands.
I'll just comment. I understand your point, Mr. Mata.
We took off ours as well, we don't
I
we
did.
recommend.
I didn't. I mean, the masks prevent all other sorts of illnesses too, you know, strep, flu, the stomach bug. Ahorita stomach bug is going around rampant. And I feel que, you know, school's almost over. Maybe we should visit it, como dijo Mr. Espinosa, at the beginning of the next year. Because, I mean, if you follow the news, anda otro variant que viene de Germany, you know what I mean? It's tough. I know it's very hard. People are tired. We're all tired of wearing them, but ya se va a acabar la escuela. I mean, why change it right now? So my motion stands true. It's up to you guys, how you're gonna vote.
Any comments?
I was gonna say that I tend to agree that we should keep it the way it is, simply because I believe that is until our national sentiment is that we have toward the flu and pneumonia that are concerned about the COVID, it reaches that level, then it's okay, but we're not at that level yet. We don't take the flu and pneumonia for granted. The COVID like we do, the flu and pneumonia, so I think we should keep it, at least for this year. We're back in the summer.
Yeah, in the summer, I mean,
I'd say bring it back in May.
May, no school year.
Oh, so we don't even have to.
Because
Let's just vote.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so we don't even have to vote on it then, right?
No.
Okay, so the fact that this is to end it, we don't have to vote on it, technically.
So,
This is what?
to end the mandate.
It's just to end it only.
Oh, okay.
It's not to
We
continue.
don't have to vote in.
Anything like that. So we really don't have to take action on it.
What, do we have to vote against ending it?
So I guess first of all, they,
Okay, say that again?
So we have to vote against it?
this is, we don't, okay, so technically, he wants to continue, she's second to continue.
Right.
You want to continue,
I
The
want,
so
mandate.
you, that's majority there. So at this point, we don't have to vote on it, because this is to end it.
Right.
but don't we have to vote to say, no, we don't want to end it?
Yes.
We need to take a vote because it's an
Action.
item, so we need to put it in.
But to end it.
To end
They
it.
change it? Not, we're gonna vote.
no,
not in-
I'm gonna vote that we keep them till the end of the school year, till,
Recommend
right,
that we
so-
ask for a vote, sir.
So any other questions?
And now I'm confused, you voting to end the mask mandate?
Okay, so let me read it. Okay, so let's go ahead and restart over. So at this point, any motions to end the mask mandate? Any motions to end it?
Motion.
Okay, I got a motion. Let's go that route now. I got a motion by Mr. Cruz Mata. Anybody got a second?
wait, I have,
I'll second it.
It could
Peggy
be
has-
subject to motions.
okay,
Sorry? You want to end it, ma'am?
No,
Yeah.
she's seconding it.
Okay, so I got a second motion by Ms. Peggy Young. All in favor to end the mask mandate? All in favor, please raise your hand to end it.
I cannot vote once.
There you go. Motion fails. Oh, I'm sorry, any against?
Against.
Against.
All right, motion fails 2-5.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
you need to bring it next meeting, sir.
You make it so difficult, sir. All right, D, discussion and consider to approve the 2022 summer school programs calendar and summer school wages.
So attached, you have, we provided you a revised summer school program. The recommendation to the board is that the Board of Trustees approve the 22 summer school programs revised calendar and wages as presented.
What was the difference on the revised?
The difference really was in the bilingual program, we had to extend it to June 28th to be in compliance with statute of 120 hours.
That's the only thing.
That's really the only difference.
I'll move. Can I move already?
Got a motion by Melissa Guerrero,
Sorry.
Second.
second by Mr. Bonilla. Any comments or questions?
Oh, yes, I have a comment.
Go ahead, sir.
First of all, I want to commend the administration for the wages of the per hour. I'm assuming that this information has sort of been passed to our school personnel to let them know.
Not yet. We need approval first, and then we send the message.
Let them know that that's what you're shooting for.
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming now that we're not having any issues finding people to work
I would hope,
based on the
I would hope not.
already.
You can't apply, sir, you're a board member.
I know. What's it came to my mind?
Want to come back?
No, just kidding.
My comment, sorry.
No, I'm done.
Okay, how about like the support staff, Ms. Brunas, is that gonna come back to us? Like, well, how much are the cafeteria ladies gonna get and all that for summer school? What are their wages
They're
gonna,
hourly, so they typically would fall under the instructional aides.
the cafeteria crew? At the same amount?
We could.
No, at the same amount that what they're earning right now, or are we gonna give them a little more?
No, I was talking
No,
about
this
at
is
the
just
same
for
amount
summer.
of the instructional.
I know, but the cafeteria ladies work during the summer, right?
And remember that we're gonna run 2 cohorts this year. We're gonna run 2 programs. That's why our dollar amount is so high.
Can you check how much they're, getting
We can,
to work for the summer?
and we'll bring it up.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor? Please raise your hand. All right, motion passes 7-0. And E, discussion and consider to approve the additional teacher positions at CrystalCity High School. I think there is a separate page to that.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the additional teaching positions at CrystalCity High School as presented. One is going to be an English teacher and one a social studies teacher. And this is to be in compliance with House Bill 4545, which is going to be, it's a mandate right now that is not being enforced, but beginning the 22-23 school year, it will be enforced. And right now, our numbers indicate that we are lacking one English teacher and one social studies.
Is, before you even ask for a vote, sir.
Yes,
How
sir.
many English teachers do we have now at the high school?
4,
How many social?
3.
And I'll reserve my other comments after.
Just keep in mind that House Bill 4545 has a teacher to student ratio.
I understand.
And this is for next year as well, right? Starting,
It's for next year, yes.
All right, so move.
All right. I got a motion by Mr. Bonilla,
did you second, Nora?
Yes,
second by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Any other comments, questions?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
This is concerning social studies, as some of you are aware. I'm taught in that area, that's where I retired from. Even when I left, there was an issue that we did not need 4 social studies teachers, simply because the state had recommended, or one of its offerings was combine geography and world history together under one teacher. Of course, our stand was no, it wasn't necessary. And at the same time, I was also, as a department, when I say Mr. Alvarado was there also at the time, that we wanted to institute a Mexican Studies class. That's what we, for sure, we did not want to let go of that for the teacher. But back then, it was under special studies, and we were willing to do that, but whatever happened, I mean, happened, right? We lost them. So now I'm glad, but it's still unfortunate that we had to do it because of the mandate from the state. We should have kept it from day one. And that just goes to further show that, which I disagree with 100%, that sometimes here in Crystal City, we throw out the baby with the bathwater. We need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing that, because look, Caracas, now we're coming back, we're putting the baby back in the bathwater. And we shouldn't be doing that. If, I don't know if we have to, or if we can, but maybe we can start the Mexican Studies issue or studies done at the junior high level, if possible.
I believe that we have teacher certification that allows us to do it already at high school, yeah. I don't know about, you're good also, yeah.
All right, any other questions? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, F, discussion, consider to approve adding a math interventionist at the Lorenzo de Zavala Elementary. Ms. Briones?
That the Board of Trustees approve adding the position of math interventionist to Lorenzo de Zavala, also as part of House Bill 4545.
Is this for this year?
This is for this year.
And, do we have to advertise
We would have to advertise, yes, sir.
10 days?
Yes, sir.
Your recommendation?
Is that the Board of Trustees approve adding the position of math interventionist to Zavala Elementary?
Motion.
Did you move, Mr. Espinoza?
Click on it.
Approve.
Motion.
Second. Okay.
All right, I got Mr. Spinoza on a motion, I got Mr. Cruz Mata second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, G, discussion, consider to approve the donation of asphalt.
This is a donation that was brought to us kind of last minute, and so any donations need to be approved by the board, even though the asphalt has already been donated. So we do bring it for consideration to approve the donation of the asphalt.
We donated.
The company, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And where is it gonna go?
What's that again?
We housed
They
it. in
donated
Phoenix, right?
asphalt.
Somebody,
that?
but we can't name who it was?
I didn't get the card,
Oh,
sorry.
Almost kind of like a last minute.
Where'd they
we
donate
need
it to?
We have it housed in maintenance.
I'll move. Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Nora Guerrero, second by Ms. Melissa Guerrero. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, 8, informational discussion, Superintendent Report, Ms. Briones?
Superintendent's report, item number 1, debrief on one-to-one meetings with board members. I wanted to publicly give you kudos for participating in the one-on-ones. I know that in the past it's not been previously done. So I'm glad that you afforded me the opportunity to visit with you. I was able to ascertain what it is that as board members, you all want to do to continue moving the district forward. So I hope that we can do this again, especially as we begin the budget process for next year. So maybe in May, and certainly having the discussion of how soon can we schedule a team of 8 so that we can establish new goals for the district, because as Ms. Young did note, we have outdated goals and was brought up by the majority of the board members during our one-on-one. So thank you for affording me that opportunity to get clarity around the vision of the school board of trustees and moving forward.
You're welcome.
Revised calendar. So for the revised calendar, all we did is we're changing the work days to the latter part of the weeks and moving the district professional development and the campus development days to the beginning of the week. That's the only change to the calendar.
Don't have to approve it.
You all don't have to approve it because we didn't change the days.
Good.
District enrollment, we're still not hitting the 90%. The state is going to hold us harmless for the first 4 weeks of school at a rate of 95.3, which will be good for the district, so we will not be punished in terms of funding like we were last year. But for the fifth and the sixth marking period, we've already had discussions with the campus administrators. We do need to get as close to 94% as possible so that we don't lose funding for the last 2 marking periods of the school year.
So what are we doing to?
Enrollment or attendance?
How do we?
A lot of it is in the coding and how we started the year, the instructional settings that we afforded. I know that Ms. Brenda is working with the PEMS clerks at the different campuses to make sure that the attendance, that the coded absences are coded appropriately, so that if students were absent because they tested positive, then we're using the right code, because those don't count against us. If they were quarantined because they were exposed, those don't count against us. But if they were absent because they were just absent, then obviously.
And that was my next question, because I have 2 kids one was quarantined, actually both tested positive, and then they had to be quarantined, but they were not counted as
quarantined.
They were
And
counted.
so the question there would be, did the campus offer remote instruction? If they offered remote instruction, then they would benefit from the code. If the campus did not offer remote instruction, then they would be counted absent.
To be honest, they weren't offered remote instruction. We asked for it.
Yeah, we've had that conversation. So, but we're going back and working with all the PEMS clerks to make sure that our coding is coded appropriately.
Thank you, ma'am.
How about if they're like sick and they bring in an excuse?
We're tracking those as well, for medically excused absences, yes.
Los míos también, I mean, they were out for
Yes.
10 days, so. Pero they were seen there at the high school, so we just turned in the excuse.
Yeah, and the state has given us the opportunity to go back and revisit the coding.
All right, number 9. Informational items only.
And Anna was the appraisal lady, she left already, right?
And she left.
on there earlier. She was on there? Oh,
She left.
sorry, I missed her.
So do you all have any questions regarding the last reports? The appraisal district reports, the business office reports, food service reports, police department incident reports, the booster club financial statements?
I have a question on the food service report. Did the breakfast get a little bit better for the pre-KK? Or they were giving a lot of Cheerios, and I talked to you about it.
Yes, and we met with Mr. Garcia, and I have not received any complaints, so I would have to reach to the campus administrator.
The breakfast better?
Breakfast,
Yes, we're not, it's much more diversified. Thank you.
thank you.
Any questions?
Get a question?
On the bookers, let me ask you this question, when do they have their elections? The booster club?
We have to meet with them first, and we actually had this already planned, but we had to reschedule because of the active shooter situation that we had. Mrs. Garcia will be meeting with the different presidents. We've already heard that one of the sisters wants to be aligned, and so, but we need to make sure that they understand the guidelines before they do anything else.
When can they elect new officers?
Typically at the beginning of the year, but if we have a resignation, then
Very
we will
upset
have to
with the president and
We
there's other
understand.
people that want to take over.
take over. Yes, sir.
Ms. Young, you have any questions, ma'am, on any informational items?
No.
No? Everybody good? All right. 12, adjournment.
Oh. Second,
Motion by Nora Guerrero,
second.
second by Ms. Melissa Guerrero. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. Time is
38.
38. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.